Hello everyone and welcome to a quick video here on the Bluebelly Farms channel. I'm Bluebelly. If you haven't met me before, it's nice to have you. In this video I want to talk about 5 things that I want to see in the next farm simulator. I know that there's strong opinions about these types of things, so these are just mine. Number one, I want to see used equipment. I know this is a fairly common desire. I use a lot of older equipment on PC with mods, and I'd like to see more of that in Farming Simulator 22. Uh, Either using a mod like the one that recently came out that allows you to buy like an older, not as good quality of a tractor, or just straight up have modders create some older vehicles. It's kind of fun to do like a start from scratch and use used equipment rather than going $250,000 in debt when you first start out. Number two, I want to see some field leasing. I know that there was a little bit of controversy when FS19 first came out because people were flipping fields. You know, they'd buy a field, take the grain off of it, make money off of the grain, and then sell the field back. Basically, it was, cheating money. Uh, I mean, if that's how you want to play the game, you certainly can do that. But I think it'd be really nice, especially again for the uh, realism, for the start from scratch kind of person. You can do the contracts, but it would be also neat if you'd say, I'm going to lease these 2 or 3 fields and start my farm that way. Or maybe you have a farm with one field on it, but you decide to lease the neighbor's field for a season or two. I think that'd be really cool. So field leasing, I think, is realistic and would add to the realism factor for those of us that like to play that way. Number three, I'd love to have a mod manager. Now, I know that there's one that you can get that's sort of from a third party, but I think that Giants should have a mod manager within the game. I don't just mean like, here's your 200 mods, click which ones you want. I mean, allowing us somehow, whether it's within the game or within the files, to be able to say, these are the 30 mods I want to use for this playthrough. And then I want to use a different 30 mods for this other playthrough. Allowing us to manage that a little bit more fluidly would be really helpful. I know for me, I had a whole save that I played on Geiselsberg that I used German equipment, which was great. But most of my saves I'm going to use Case IH equipment. And so to be able to swap that out quickly and easily where I'm not requiring my PC to load up a tractor or even a whole map that I don't intend to play. Number four would be more livestock. I think it's the Dalton Valley map has goats on it. And I thought, wow, that'd be so cool. I don't know how much differently goats will function in the game compared to cows or sheep. Or I'm sure there's some sort of hybrid balancing act between the two, but that's really cool. And then you can have all these additional mods like turning goat's milk into goat's milk cheese and so on. But I think there are other livestock options that could be added. That's one thing I think Seasons does well, allowing you to have beef cows or dairy cows. And I just think adding more variety in that way, additional ways to take care of animals, even, there's a difference between somebody who has a farm where they're fattening up animals to sell at market versus somebody who is selling offspring. There's a lot of different ways to go about livestock. So adding not just different animals, but also different ways to manage the animals that you have, sort of like Seasons. And I know the announcement has already come out that we're pretty sure that Seasons is going to be on FS22 from the base game. So maybe this will be included, but it's just something I wanted to mention here. Uh, Now for the fifth one, this one might not resonate with everybody, but I'd like to see more variety in the transport contracts. And really what I would love to see actually is stuff like routes around a map, particularly if they start to bring in more of these like 4X style maps, but to be able to like be a milkman and drive around to several different farms on the map, fill up with milk, take it back, and then collect your pay when you're done with that. Maybe something like that. Or even instead of the transport contract just being pick up these pallets, what if you could say, I'm going to do a transport contract where I am going to transfer 30,000 liters of canola from this farm to the co-op? That's a job that I'm sure needs to be done all the time. And instead of every farm having that equipment, it basically would just give you an additional use if you decide to go ahead and either lease or buy a semi truck and trailer. Then you could say, okay, I'm going to invest 100 grand in the rig and 50 grand in the trailer. Now I need to make $150,000. How many crops is that? That's several crops through your own farm to pay for that. But just to say, all right, I'll do 10 of these contracts and put a dent in that cost. Something along those lines I think would be a lot of fun. I know there's a pretty considerable overlap between people that play farm sim and the truck sim games, whether that's ATS or ETS. And I think integrating that same sense of going out to complete a route, basically, not just I'm going to put 3 pallets on this trailer and then take it to another spot on the map, but to go to different places, I think would make transporting and just the more creative use of some of the map spaces that we have. Um, you know what they say, over under promise and over deliver. So I'll give you this sixth one. This is sort of not gonna fit the list, but it's something that I wanted to throw out there. I'd love to see more name brands. I know this is like a big sticking point because Giants has to negotiate with brands, but by getting the brands, you don't necessarily have to get their whole run of equipment. Like, think about this. So, when Giants secured John Deere, what did they bring into the base game? Maybe six, eight, 10, 12? I don't know how many actual vehicles they brought into the base game. Let's say a dozen. But then modders brought in dozens more, way more. And I think that would be really cool to see that happen with truck brands, to see that happen with ATV brands, not to mention, obviously, ag equipment, where if Giants is able to negotiate for a couple more of those brands, and then you can get the modding community to go out and make more of that equipment. I just think that would be so cool. I mean, these companies already have to have 3D models, right? Like, they're making the real thing. So they have 3D models available. I think developing a partnership between Giants and the companies that they're putting their equipment in the game would really be helpful to everyone involved and allow us to have a even greater variety to the way that we play the game. Uh, I think that FS19 is by far the best of the games that have been out. I really love playing the game, and I plan to continue playing it until FS22 comes out. So don't none of these ideas are like fix what's broken. These ideas are all expand, expand, grow, grow. I can't wait to have more. So please, if you enjoyed this, if you agree, feel free to drop a comment on that. If you disagree, you want to argue with me, that's cool too. Happy to have some dialogue here on this topic. But I love the game. I'm excited that there's a sequel coming, and I just wanted to put my thoughts out there. All right, everybody, have a great day. Bye for now.